Hey, welcome back, everybody. Six Pack Sports, episode 22, Super Bowl week. I'm really excited. I'm Rich. We got Drew here. Let's get right into what we are drinking tonight. Drew, what do you got?
Tonight I'm drinking a New Holland Dragon's Milk White Stout. Uh, Initial flavoring and aroma smells like roasted coffee. So I'm a I'm a stout snob. So better reach expectations.
In hindsight, I'm wishing I would have went and got something from Kansas City or Philly now that we're here, but I have a Guinness Blonde. I'm a big Guinness fan. So far, at this one, I'm very on the fence. So I'm curious to see how this
You
one plays out.
you had me at Guinness. So
You had me at hello. First topic this week, cracking open to a fresh one. Kind of surprising news. Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks of all places. What do you think?
I put this on the script because it's honestly, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but it's extremely cringeworthy to where the state of the NBA is right now. If somebody's unhappy, it didn't work out the way they want, they just get to bail now. There's no accountability. There's no loyalty. It's what can I do to improve every single step of the way. And Kyrie Irving is a perfect example of that. And
Or you think that like it's a symptom of AAU basketball? Like we didn't really have AAU when I was graduating 15 years ago. It was just kind of starting to become a thing, but now like they're all growing up playing together.
I think it's a symptom of I don't even know how to explain it now. The AAU kind of makes a lot of sense because they've been playing together for so long, but I'm just sick and tired of the NBA jumping ship every single time something doesn't go right.
It really is a carousel. On the glass half full of jumping ship, did you get it on Twitter at all today and see like all the Kevin Durant please come to Detroit photoshops?
Well, I think this is more of a story of Kevin Durant than Kyrie Irving. And no, I did not see anything on Twitter. Unfortunately, I was pretty.
They were like fan accounts. It wasn't anything with
Or-
substance, but it's always fun whenever like there's turmoil on a team, all the home team's fans Photoshop their best player into their jersey and basically just come here, come to Detroit.
Sure.
It would be pretty awesome to see the Slim Reaper in a Pistons uniform.
That first one, like getting made fun of in memes. Remember when he left Golden State and like it was during the Olympics and this is Kevin Durant, my next chapter. I'm going to join the U.S. women's gymnastics team. Like, anybody who's
yeah, he
team. That's what
roasted when he
but
got
overall,
roasted at the ESPY
story for Durant because he left Golden State. He left the best team of this era to go do his own thing. And he built this team. He brought in Irving. He brought in Harden. It all failed. They all left. And now he's stuck with Ben Simmons, who has zero trade bait.
Who's was he a former number one overall pick that can't shoot? Like it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Ben Simmons is an anomaly. Hindsight, have you seen his girlfriend, Isa Gonzalez from like Baby Driver? He's winning. Doesn't matter how he does on the court because he's winning off the court.
I try not to follow too much of the girlfriend stuff because it's just pure drama. But if you want to talk about famous people girlfriends, can we talk about Leonardo DiCaprio real quick?
I saw he was dating a 19-year-old again.
It's like 19-year-old young woman.
He's like Wooderson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's like, the older I get, he goes, but they stay the same age.
Just to do some quick math on this, and I had to get the calculator out because there's some high numbers. But that young lady was -7 when Titanic came out.
Oh God, I saw Titanic at a drive-in in theaters. -7. So she was born 19. You said she's 19, so she was born in what is that, 2002? No, it's 2023 now. So 2004.
I graduated from high school 19 years ago. So
I was in high school in 2004. She was a baby. That's insane.
overall,
Good for you, Leo. I mean, this is one of those things like when the conversation gets brought up in front of like you and your wife, you're like, that's disgusting. I don't know how that could happen. And then when it's talked about with your guy friends, you're like, good on you, Leo. Good on you.
I mean, I get it, but 40.
Did you see her?
19, 48, 19, 19, 48. No.
It's a different world. There's like three cities. There's three cities where that's just like acceptable, and it's New York, LA, and Miami. You can't do that in the Midwest. Like a normal 50-year-old man starts dating a 19-year-old outside of Cincinnati, and he's shunned from the entire community.
Sure. Overall, back to the NBA. And I didn't want to spend too much time on this because I'd rather go into the fun stuff of the Super Bowl. But Kyrie Irving, unfortunately, in my opinion, and this is like the epitome of why I've lost interest in the NBA, the dude's a loser. He sucks. Like, he can't be trusted anywhere for accountability. He can't be trusted anywhere on a long-term contract. So when he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, which, by the way, Dallas, you get him for half a
It's
year.
a rental.
No GM is going to give him a long-term contract because his accountability is zero.
Yeah, he's a liability. Like, and I think he's like 33 or 34 now too. So he's not exactly a young man.
7 years of great basketball.
Yeah. So I mean, you saw what he goes. Cleveland wins. Wants to leave, goes to Boston, tells everybody he's signing, gets out of there, says he's going to build it in Brooklyn, gets out of there. So I'm with you. Does he suck? No, he's a tremendous point guard. Like, he's incredible. Do I want him on my team? Also, no. I think he's a cancer. There's nothing to build around there. Plus, I mean, we're not in like a win now situation. If I was in a win now, like, I do kind of see what Cube might be thinking, but I wouldn't bring him in. There's the downside vastly outweighs the benefit of bringing Kyrie Irving into your team. Next topic.
Final sip on that. You got Luka. You got Kyrie Irving. Who's taking the final shot?
Luka. That's Luka's team.
It is Luka's team.
It's Luka's team.
Eat at Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie doesn't understand how to be the role player. He doesn't understand that he doesn't have to be the number one guy every single time down the court.
Well, he's going to have to get used to it because that is Luka's
team. I
team.
never want that ever on anyone. I hope this fails.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good bet. Moving on, another 40-some-year-old man dating a young 20s model. Tom Brady retired. Buying or selling? When he's buying or selling, does that mean I believe he's retiring? Is that your thing?
By buying, you believe that he's retiring. By selling, you
I'm buying. I'm buying at 110%.
I don't know yet. I'm like in the middle. Maybe I'm renting. I'm renting this idea.
It's a rental.
I'm not gonna buy.
Yeah,
renting, but
TV's out. I mean, when he did his weird middle-aged woman thing on the beach and did like his goodbye, it was just too much. He's done.
He did say today on Heard that he'll be joining whatever sports broadcasting company in 2024.
Yeah,
that opened the window just a little bit to say, "Hey, I'm still available for one more year of football. I ruined my life, my marriage. I still got it. Give me the right opportunity."
He wasn't the worst quarterback in the NFL this year at 45 yards by a long shot. He's definitely he's not an elite QB like he was anymore. But he was serviceable. Like New Orleans,
a manager plus.
San Francisco, Oakland for a year if you're trying to make a push, like maybe, but
prove that they're a plug and play quarterback franchise.
You can put anybody with a cannon back there is going to do well, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. So anyway, I'm buying. Tom Brady's done, barring anything crazy. I don't think he comes back. He's going to go off. He's going to see his kids on the weekends, every other weekend, have a little kid time, and then he's going to be just playing golf, going to the Kentucky Derby with his 24-year-old bombshell. That's what I'm saying.
I think that San
Book it.
Francisco gives him a shot.
It'd be hilarious if he pulled like Ndamukong Suh did this year and just pull up to Philadelphia in like week 14. If Tom Brady does that, like a San Francisco situation, a contenders quarterback goes down midseason and say, "Hey, Tom, you wanna make that push for 8 rings? Let's make it happen." It's not like he needs time to come in.
I want to buy this because I'm sick of him. Leave, but I'm selling. I think he's got one more year, and he's gonna, after the Super Bowl, he's gonna want to be back in the spotlight. He's like, you know what, San Francisco, that's my home. Let's go for one more year.
Do one more there, win a Super Bowl and ride off. I mean, that is the best way to retire, is to win a Super Bowl and retire. Like Elway
In your
nailed
hometown.
it. Couldn't be better. Storybook. Jerome Bettis did the same thing too. Detroit. Win in Detroit, hangs up the cleats. It's a great way to go out.
The bus.
Moving on.
All right. Tom Brady is known for his Super Bowls. And you know what else is known for their Super Bowl? The food.
Food and commercials.
Thoughts. Today we're building the ultimate Super Bowl party dish to pass. I'm going to be a gentleman and let you go first.
I think I get to go
actually know what
first.
the first beer is going to be.
I think there's a clear cut number one to a Super Bowl party. I think that like the number one pick is a leg, a head, a leg, a wing above everything else. And that is hot wings. Bringing hot wings.
2% wings. If
Wings.
wings aren't your first answer, there's something wrong.
You got it. Yeah, that's my number one overall pick for Super Bowl snacks to bring to a party. Tray of wings.
Now, do you prefer a little spice? Or
I like
you
heat.
a mild or a barbecue?
I would do like, you know how it's usually mild, medium, hot, and then like 4 or 5 hots live after that. Like that first or second hot. I like enough heat that like it's hot a little bit that I want to have a sip of my beer to wash it down, but I don't like it so hot that I'm sweating and I can't enjoy it.
I want it so hot that I'm hating my life at 3 in the morning.
Yeah. I like a good traditional wing, and I like mixing it up too. Like a little Asian zing in there, some different mixer ups there, a little garlic parm. I don't think you have to be dead set on one type. Mix it up. It's for everybody.
Okay, so Super Bowl, you're going to a party. Hey, Rich, pick up some wings. All right, yeah, I'll stop at B-Dubs on the way. What flavor are you getting?
Well, I don't know the B-Dubs ones off the top of my head, but I would do like a regular hot and probably like a regular mild. I try probably like a little variety thing, probably like a sweet honey barbecue or like a Sweet Baby Ray's type barbecue sauce for the people that don't like heat. And then like I like the Asian style one. So one of the Asian styles.
Parmesan garlic.
Parmesan garlic is a good one too. I'd give you that.
All right, so clear cut number one. I would wholeheartedly agree. I'm
Yep.
glad you got that one out of the way because if you let me get that one at 2, I was going to be very disappointed.
No, I would have been terrible.
My first beer, and it's the biggest takeout day of the year, and that's pizza. You're bringing pizza to a Super Bowl party.
So you can't go wrong with pizza. Everybody loves pizza. Good pizza, bad pizza, doesn't matter. You're having pizza.
You're having pizza. You're
You're
bringing
having pizza.
it's a no-brainer. Wings and pizza.
Yeah. Love pizza.
BYP, WAP. Wings and
Yeah. This is a good draft. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. My number 2, meat and cheese plate. Meats and cheeses. I can't call it a charcuterie plate on Super Bowl Sunday. It's meat and cheese. That's what I want. Throw some crackers on there. Something people can kind of nibble on throughout the game. What's nice about those is the wings I want when they first get there, when they're hot. But some cold cuts out there, those will be good for a couple hours.
Okay, so I equally have that on my list, but I just had it as a cheese ball and cracker. But when you
A
get
cheese ball, yeah.
meat inside of it, so I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Anything with crackers and cheese, though,
Yeah. Lights out. You've seen the thing like our generation loves the charcuterie plates because we grew up on Lunchables.
100%. Millennials
100%.
invented charcuterie board
Yeah, we were trained.
via. I mean, there's a TikTok going around.
All right, what's your second beer in the 6-pack?
All right, I'm going a little homemade for mine. Now, there might be some different scenarios where people do this a little bit different, but pigs in a
Sure.
blanket for me.
Oh yeah, I had pigs in a blanket on my list. That's tried and true. Everybody likes them.
One, it's a crock pot ease. You just throw it in. You throw some chili sauce and some grape jelly in. Mix it together. Done. That's your.
Wait, are you talking about the like little weenies and sauce? Because pigs in a blanket is when they're wrapped in a pastry.
I know. I know. You got to get that flavor in them first, and then you wrap.
Okay. I've never made them. I've only enjoyed.
Really.
Yeah. I make a lot of stuff, but pigs in a blanket, for whatever reason, has never been on the list. I'm going to stick with you in the crock pot area. This is the little mini meatballs.
That's your third beer, mini meatballs.
That's the mini meatballs in the crock pot. Like I said, the key to all these things is they need to be one bite, like one little biteable, something that you can have. I don't want to be cutting things. I don't want to be dealing with all that. I just need to be able to pop it and go.
Okay. I agree. Meatballs, it doesn't matter what sauce you throw in there too, they're going to be good. Because
No, it could be barbecue sauce, could be some kind of gravy, it could be whatever.
You're too busy for that. So you're grabbing some bagged meatballs, which already have great flavor in. You're picking out sauce.
Yeah, these aren't homemade ones. That's for sure the store bought. Like this isn't me making Sunday sauce and doing like the pasta and meatballs. This is 100% like the frozen meatball into the crock pot, boom, some barbecue sauce, and I'm not thinking about it for 4 or 5 hours.
All right. Beer number 3 for me. And I think this goes out to the people who didn't plan at all ahead. You show up to a Super Bowl party with tortilla chips and salsa, you're set.
Yeah, I have that, but I have guac included there. Like
guac is fine too.
Got to bring the guac.
Buy guac now in the stores, but you're driving to a Super Bowl party, you're running late, you didn't bring anything, tortilla chips, salsa, you're done.
Mm-hmm. It's easy.
You're welcomed in.
And everybody loves chips and salsa.
You can't go wrong.
It's incredible. For my, I think what are we on 5th beer now? I believe we're on the 5th beer. I am gonna go with.
Well, wait a minute. You're on your 4th beer. If you had 20 beers, you can't remember where you're at.
Well, you've taken a couple of mine on my list, so I was looking at it and trying to remember what's been said. So I got wings, I got meat and cheese plate, and then I got mini meatballs. So this is the 4th beer. I'm gonna go with jalapeno poppers.
Ooh, poppers.
Jalapeno, a little cream cheese in there, some regular cheddar, wrap a little piece of bacon around it, throw it on the grill. Dynamite.
What's made a game changer with poppers is the
air fryer. Yeah, we just got one. Like a toaster, oven, air fryer kind of combo. Yeah.
You just got one?
I cook. Like we throw down in this house. So we got a nice, like, it's been a game changer though. I will give you that. Like it's way healthier than all the things I was searing in oil. But yeah, jalapeno poppers. 4th beer.
I'm gonna have to send you some air fryer recipes because you can spend every single day on the air fryer. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
All right, my 4th beer, and I'm gonna paint this with a broad stroke. Anything buffalo chicken, anything buffalo chicken.
I had buffalo chicken dip in there. That was on my list. Yeah. It works. It's a play on the wings. I think the buffalo chicken dip, the buffalo chicken like little poppers and stuff like that. There's a lot you can do there. Buffalo chicken's a win on a football Sunday.
You can tag team with the guy that just brought tortilla chips.
Yeah, you put it right next to the salsa. Like you throw it next to there, and that's kind of like included for sure. So with my 5th beer, after you just kind of like piggybacked off my wings number 1 overall pick, is I'm going sliders.
Sliders. Those are multi-dimensional because you can do roast beef, you can do chicken, you can do.
Yeah, you can do barbecue on there. You can do shredded chicken barbecue, just regular burger type sliders. You can mix it up. You can do like a sandwich sliders. I'm sure you've been seeing all that stuff online where they make like Italian sandwiches and they get all the cheese melty on there. All of it looks fantastic. Sliders. Sliders are my fifth beer.
A little bit too much carbs for me, but it's acceptable.
Well, I mean, you don't have to have 6 of them. You mix it up around the table. The key, and what's nice about this is you get a plate, you
I
get
have
a little,
6 of them.
yeah, a little bit of everything though.
My fifth beer, and I think this is for the ladies. Just a classic veggie tray. A little bit of
Woof.
ranch.
Woof.
You can't go wrong. It's healthy. It's easy. It's probably cheap.
It's healthy until you just
A tray, like a football tray, and it's going to look nice.
it's healthy until you dunk it in the ranch that it comes with.
That's fine. Ranch is healthy-ish.
I love ranch. Do you like I like a thin, almost milk-like ranch.
Well, Hidden Valley sells that buttermilk. That's
Yeah.
just a little bit of flavor. But I also buy the buttermilk light because it's half the calories.
Sure. Why not? Half the calories, a third of the taste.
It's a healthy choice. Veggie trays.
Veggie trays. I think that loses you the board if we were to throw it up there.
You think I'm getting kicked out for that?
No. I think it loses you like between our two boards. Because it was tough because I had wings to start with and they're so strong. But when you throw the veggie tray in there, I think that's just like it's like an anchor
Oh,
on
sure.
your six
The
pack.
celery to go with it. Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
celery is it's like included with the wings. Like there'll be celery and carrots. Same with like ranch and blue cheese. You don't have to say it, you just know. See, this is when it gets hairy because
Final beer. What do you
final
got?
base. See, this is where it gets tough though, because all the good things have been taken. So I think with the last one,
I mean, at this point, it might come down to just like
yeah,
only things that the family does. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I think what I would do here is like the like a pretzel, like a hard pretzel tray and some cheese dip,
Mhm.
like a soft cheese dip and like just pretzel. You can grab them, pop them there. Pretzels, a little salty with all the other savory things we got going.
You can't go wrong with it. That's a great answer. And the
Love a
fact
good
that it's
pretzel.
dropped so far down the line is kind of impressive.
Yeah, I was shocked you took
Overall,
veggies at 5.
we're going to finish up this 6-pack with you walk through that door at a Super Bowl party and you don't have anything but beer, you're welcome. You're welcomed in the door and you're part of the fam.
Oh, this was dishes. You don't get to throw beer in there. You don't get to bring Mariano Rivera
It's
out,
beer.
throw him in there. No.
You're telling me you invite me over for a Super Bowl party, which mind
No,
you,
I think
we
all
have
the
to remind our listeners of that story of when you invited me over for a Super Bowl party like 45 times one night. You were so drunk.
I wanted somebody to watch the Super Bowl with in Montgomery.
Hey,
I didn't know
bro,
anybody. I wasn't going to a bar.
what you doing?
Yeah. Joy reminded me that night. She's like, you invited Drew to watch the Super Bowl like 25 times. And I was like, I don't remember talking to him about the Super Bowl at all.
You're
But no, beer's not a dish. No,
on
don't get me wrong. You should definitely bring beer. But I'm not allowing. I'm vetoing. You can't use beer as a dish. I'm
You're going to
vetoing it.
veto me bringing beer to a Super Bowl.
No, I'm going to veto you using it on a list of dishes to bring. Please bring a beer. Bring a beer.
Fine,
But that's not a dish.
fine. I'm bringing bacon-covered water chestnuts.
That sounds pretty good.
It's also a combination of Easter, Christmas dish to pass, but Super Bowl.
Which you're hitting like right in the sweet spot too between them. So you're just like, hey, you're out a little bit on both those foods. So here's a little reminder. No, that's a good one.
My wife's recipe on that, but she mixes a whole bunch of stuff. I think she's just grabbing random stuff in the fridge, but
Just throwing stuff in there.
it's so good.
It's the Sunday special. It's whatever we're trying to clear out.
Not healthy.
What we're talking, and so let's recap our lists real quick. So for mine, let's go. We've got wings. We've got a meat and cheese plate. We have got mini meatballs, jalapeno poppers, sliders, and then What else? Yeah, I got the menu.
What's it?
And then pretzels and a cheese dip.
And as for me, I have pizza, no brainer. Pigs in a blanket, chips and salsa, anything buffalo chicken, a veggie tray for the healthy soul, and bacon covered water chestnut.
That's actually a pretty solid list there. Like the pizza and the chips and salsa are calling to me on that for like things I want to eat at a Super Bowl party.
This is one of those topics where there was no wrong answer.
No, except for beer. Like it's a beverage. It's not a dish to pass.
As my dish to pass.
All right.
I would love for you to kick somebody out and say, "Get out of here." You didn't
See, here's the thing. You're changing what I said. I would never turn away somebody showing up with beer. What I'm saying is you cannot use it as a dish to pass
What if you're on an all liquid
on the
diet?
list. I'm not saying you can't bring it. In the hypothetical game we are playing where you have to pick a dish to pass, beer is not a dish. Beer is a beverage.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it your hypothetical six pack or my hypothetical six?
Do you serve it in a dish or in a cup?
I serve beer all the time to my friends.
In a dish?
Well,
on a plate?
I'm inviting all my feline friends over. Yes, I am getting beer to my friends.
Touche. I think your list, it actually grew on me when you read it back out again. There's some things on there that I need to have at Super Bowl Sunday. Speaking of Super Bowl Sunday, you've got some important storylines here. And the question posed is, what's the most important storyline of Super Bowl Sunday? Is it Andy Reid playing his former team? Is it the Kelce brothers facing off in the Kelce Bowl? It is the first Super Bowl in NFL history showcasing two starting black quarterbacks. The politically correct answer is the quarterback. That's the one I think that's going to get a lot of praise, and it should. It's pretty incredible that we've come this far with the NFL, with Super Bowl 55, and it hasn't happened when they dominate every other position on the field.
55 years of the Super Bowl, and this is the first time we've had dual quarterbacks that are black, African American. Also, they're the youngest duo, which I kind of thought was a pretty cool stat as well.
That's interesting. It is a changing of the guard year, it feels like, with Tom Brady retiring and being like the last of the old guards. So
10 years, Tom Brady screwed up that algorithm every time because he was so old.
Right. He's been in the Super Bowl. What is it? 1 out of every 3 years he's been in the NFL, and a bunch of them have been in his late 30s and 40s.
Record 6-4 or 6-3?
I think it was 7-2. Because he only lost. Oh no, it's 7-3. He's been to 10 Super Bowls, I think, because he lost to Eli twice and Nick Foles.
He is 7-3, which is wow.
Yeah, just the fact for 10. I mean, there's 25 years he was in the league. He was in the Super Bowl 10 times. That's insane. I mean, in the 2 against New York, really all 3 of those he almost won. I wonder if you like flipped all the 1-score Super Bowls that he had, what they would be, because they won a bunch of those early ones on field goals by Vinatieri.
No joke. I don't think he blew out anybody. Well, he blew out the Chiefs, so he very easily could be 1-9.
Yeah,
one play flip,
1 or 2 plays flipped. And he's got 1 or 2 Super Bowls, and then same thing the other way. 1 or 2 play flips in the other games. He might be 10-0 in the Super Bowls and have a perfect season.
The Giants, both of them were fourth quarter comebacks within either the last or the second to last season.
I love those. And like the thing about the Falcons one, they were down 28-3, and they win it. It's wild. So that's the politically correct answer. I think it's the Kelce Bowl is cool. I don't think that's the biggest storyline. The fact that it's 2 brothers is awesome because that's never happened either, apparently. On the field, we had the Harbaugh Bowl 10 years ago. It was 2011 or 2012. But first time players are facing off against each other that are brothers. I think the bigger story here is Andy Reid. That's like my favorite storyline because I always liked him in Philly. I never rooted for Philly, but I never disliked them. And they were a fun team to watch with McNabb and T.O. And I just felt like they were so ungrateful. As a Lions fan who didn't have a very good team, they were so ungrateful to go to like 5 NFC championship games in a row.
There was so much drama going on. It took away from how great Andy Reid was.
Yeah, he was such a good coach. There was some clock management issues he had in Philly that was a little bit of an issue, but to go to 5 straight NFC championship games and just be like, that's not good enough. I don't get it. That's crazy to me. I hope he wins. I am pulling for KC. So I think that's my favorite storyline. What do you think?
I would agree heartedly that the first Super Bowl showcasing 2 black quarterbacks is the most important. That is the story. It's 2023. That's current events. That's the story. But I think personally, the Kels Bowl. I mean, two brothers that are going against each other. They each have a ring already. So this is like, as hard as it is to get to the Super Bowl, this is the ultimate like Thanksgiving Day dinner argument.
Yeah,
Oh,
agreed.
you won one? Yeah, so did I. Oh, but my second one is against you. So
Right. It's like the Eli and Peyton. They each have 2, but if either of them had
John and Jim Harbaugh. I mean,
right, but
I beat you at the top.
at the Super Bowl, and they're both like elite in their game too. Like Travis Kelce's the best tight end in the NFL. Jason Kelce's arguably the best center.
Arguably one.
So it's not like, oh, the guy's a kick returner, or he's on the kickoff team and he plays special teams, and the other guy, he's a corner, a nickelback that gets in on 30% of the snaps. No, these guys are playing like 95% of the offensive snaps for each team. I think Kelce comes out occasionally. I'm sorry. I think Travis Kelce comes out occasionally, but Jason Kelce never comes off the field on offense. So I think that you said it last week by pointing out like they both are not only, contributors to their team, but they're the best players in the league at their position going at each other. That stat for brothers alone is insane, and that they're facing off in the same Super Bowl. I feel bad for their parents. Like, it's got to be so cool, but at the same time, it's got to be awful to know that one son's
as a parent, do you wear one jersey each, or do you each wear a split jersey?
Split jersey, 100%.
Jersey is a no-brainer.
You have to do it, because otherwise, like, if like you wear one brother and your spouse wears the other, then it's just forever like, well, mom loves me more, well, dad loves me more. So you got to do the split jersey, which that's the only occasion it's acceptable is if it's family members going against each other. And I feel bad for their parents because that's such a cool thing. But
if I have, I'll never have 2 sons in the Super Bowl. I only have 1. But
you never know. One might slip past the goalie.
Competing against each other, I would be the proudest parent ever. I do not.
Oh, I agree. I think they're going to be beaming, but like it's bittersweet. One son is going to reach the peak.
To wear a split jersey.
Do you think they're secretly pulling for one son? Like, because growing up, have you heard the story? Like Jason Kelce was the older brother. He was like the good brother, and Travis was like a kind of a mess up.
Travis is a wild card.
Travis got kicked off the team at Cincinnati when they were both there, and Jason had to go like vouch for him and be like, he got his act together, let him back on the team. He went there and they let him back on, and then the rest is history. So like, yeah, I'd just be curious. Like, are they pulling a little bit or are they neutral?
I just hope Philly wins.
Go Chiefs. Don't read into that for our picks later.
The biggest story here is the 2 bucks. Great story. I think it's great for the NFL. If Mahomes wins, he'll be the first black quarterback with 2 Super Bowl wins, which is crazy.
It's a crazy stat.
And if Hurts comes out on top, he'll join Joe Namath and Joe Montana as the only 3 quarterbacks to win a national championship and a Super Bowl. So
that's pretty wild stat
as well. I thought that there would be a lot more of that with all the great quarterbacks that we've had coming out of college football in the last 20 years that there's only been 3 that have both, which is
That's wild stat, actually. I would not have guessed that, and I wouldn't have guessed those quarterbacks either. Um, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, question for you: whose legacy is more at stake here? Is it Andy Reid's or Patrick Mahomes?
I think the real answer lies in the age of the individual. Patrick Mahomes is going to be playing for 10 more years at a high level. Andy Reid, he might retire within the next 4 to 5 years.
Mhm. Or he could have a heart attack. That is a large
He could
man.
have a heart attack tomorrow.
Loves
That's not being
cheeseburgers.
disrespectful. He's just a big dude.
He's a giant,
That's
giant
just-
man. I love him, but yeah, giant dude.
So I think this is a bigger deal, Andy Reid. Also, I think this is a bigger deal for Andy Reid because he's already 1-2 in the Super Bowl. And if you fall to 1-3 in the Super Bowl, that's going to hurt you for Hall of Fame
Hmm.
rather than being 2-2. I think Patrick Mahomes can lose the Super Bowl, retire, and still be highly qualified for the Hall of Fame.
So if that's your thing, so I'm gonna counterpoint there. I actually think it's more for Patrick Mahomes when it comes to quarterbacks. So and if we take it back and look at both of them, so let's look at Andy Reid's career as a coach. He'd be 1-3 in the Super Bowl, but he would have taken 2 teams to 5 conference championship games each.
It's a
So
big
that's 10 years of taking your team to the conference championship, or of winning the conference championship and getting to the Super Bowl, or not just taking there. But anyway, getting to it 10 times is incredible. Unless you're Tom Brady, and then you go to the Super Bowl 10 times. So the fact that he's won one, he's consistently at the final conference championship game. He's an offensive kind of genius in what he's done across 3 decades, really, in the NFL of keeping up with the changing game. I think Andy Reid's legacy is cemented. I think when he got his ring, that kind of was, I think that was the monkey on his back. I think that was kind of everybody's team Andy Reid now. And I think he's generally beloved. Patrick Mahomes has been anointed the next great one, the one to carry the league. It's incredibly, incredibly hard to get to the Super Bowl. So the fact that he would go 1-2, he might never make it back. If Andy Reid retires, they get a coach that doesn't know quite how to use him. There's no saying that.
conference ain't no slouch.
Right.
True.
Their team, Travis Kelce's getting older. He's a huge part of why they are as good as they are. He is always there. He's turning 33 next year. He's a tight end. I don't know how much more he's got in him. I think it's more meaningful for him. I think if he gets that second Super Bowl, checks that off, he's 2-1. He's got a winning record in the Super Bowl. He's 28 years old going into next season. That dude is the man. 1-2, they will start with is he okay? What's wrong with Patrick Mahomes? What's going on? Does he need the speed of Tyreek Hill? Like, they will start with all of that stuff if he doesn't win.
And
I think it's more important for him.
in the last Super Bowl,
Mhm.
Goose eggs again. Whoa.
Yeah. So, especially like with his ankle, if he comes out and he puts it up, like that just kind of cements him as he's our next dude. Come out, a little hobbled, gut through it, get the W, huge. Lose, they're gonna just not tear him apart, but they'll start to whisper. And then of course he could go on and win 2 or 3 more Super Bowls in the next 10 years. I think he's gonna stay healthy and have an awesome career. He's so fun to watch. But again, he might never make another Super Bowl. Ask Dan Marino. Got there his rookie year, never got back. Lit it up. Top 5 quarterback of all time, probably. So I think it means more for Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid's resume is set. He's good. That's a Hall of Fame coach. He's got his ring. He's happy. Patty needs this one.
I think Andy Reid going 1-3 will be a sour taste in his
Of course.
much more than it would be for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I don't know about that. But if we're talking legacy, I don't think it tarnishes his legacy.
And I think this is legacy wise, this might be a coin flip.
It's not close.
Time.
It's not close to me. I think it's Patrick Mahomes has a lot more at stake.
Okay.
Mainly because Reed's resume is already written, kind of for the opposite of yours. You're saying his resume is written, he needs it to put him over the top. In my opinion, Andy Reid's going to go down as one of the top coaches of all time. He's going to be in that conversation. I mean, he's not going to win it. It's Belichick, it's Shula, it's some of those guys. But he's going to be regarded as one of the top coaches of all time and of this era. Mahomes, it's looking like he's going to be one of the top guys of all time. It's looking like he's going to be one of the top, or he is one of the top guys of this era based on what he's done in the last 5 years. So I think this game cements him as a Hall of Famer, as the dude, as the guy, as the face of the NFL.
I'll tell you what, Andy Reid, best mustache in the NFL.
He has say that one more time.
Best mustache in the NFL.
It's an incredible mustache. They need to bring it back. More guys need to do that. Like, I'm a fan.
Look like a terrible.
Yeah, Jory just told me no. I whenever I clean up, I'll share it. She'll just be like, "Why? Why do you do that?" All right, so
moving on.
Go ahead.
Next topic. The John Madden simulator has the Eagles winning. Is that a big deal?
No, it couldn't be less of a big deal. So I saw an interesting stat today that for the last, what is it? This will be the 56th Super Bowl. There's been 55 or 54. The Super Bowl underdogs are 27, 27, and 2.
Oh, wow.
Gambling. So it is as split as you can be down the middle there. And I think it's a 1.5 point game. It's a coin flip. I think if you run that simulation 100 times, it'd probably be no further than like 55-45 either way.
Sure. Some cool stats on the Madden simulator. Madden is 11-8 on getting it correct versus incorrect, dating back to the Patriots-Panthers Super Bowl in 2004. The current streak is 2 incorrect answers in a row.
Ooh.
Madden has never gotten 3 wrong in a row. And they are 1-4 in their last 5 Super Bowls. So they started off hot.
That's pretty good.
You know what? I think now that Madden has expanded with having it be more real life, they're starting to get it wrong.
I'll be honest. I haven't played Madden since like 2013, 2014. I think since Calvin was on the cover. Or Barry. There was a year they went back to back, and whatever year the last Lions guy was on there is the last one I bought.
The last one I bought was Madden 8.
Yeah.
When you have kids.
Definitely. Speaking of streaks, did you see the last 8 or 9 teams to win the coin flip have lost the game?
Oh boy.
So I'm kind of debating fading that trend this year, seeing who wins the coin flip and hammering them. It's just too weird of a stat.
As soon as it happens.
As soon as it happens, they want to just fade because it's just a weird thing to continue. I know it has no effect on the game, but my gambler's brain is like, it's got to flip sooner or later. Like for the rest of time, it's not always, it can't happen. Has no correlation to the play on the field, but it might. It might.
So the last 4 games in which Madden was correct, something crazy, absolutely crazy happened in the game. So they correctly chose the Chiefs over the 49ers. And that was a fourth quarter comeback for the ages where Mahomes threw 3 scores in the final 6 minutes of the game. It correctly picked the Patriots' historical comeback versus the Falcons.
Wild.
Correctly predicted the Patriots over the Seahawks, and that probably shouldn't have happened because all Seattle had to do was
hand the ball off.
Hand the ball off. Arguably the best under 2-yard rusher in the game at that time.
Oh yeah, he was the best power back in the NFL.
And
Marshawn Lynch.
it correctly picked the Ravens over the 49ers. And if you remember that
Power outage. Yeah, the power outage game.
blackout game. So something is crazy happened every single time Madden has got it right. So if Madden did get it right and the Eagles win,
We gotta
interested on what
look for the fluke.
happens.
I like it. I like it.
I'm gonna guess Rihanna falls off the stage. And
No. So that's your crazy thing. No, Rihanna is a pro. I am team Riri.
she is a pro, but let's be honest, she needs this more than the Super Bowl needs. She hasn't come out with an album in like 5 years.
You know what? I don't care. She's got so many hits. Play the classics. I don't need new Rihanna.
Outside of Umbrella, name one song.
Shut Up and Drive.
Name-
Monster.
Because I can't.
Um,
You just made those up, didn't you? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Stay, like that piano song she's got. She's got a bunch. Put me on the spot. I'm not a huge, like, I don't listen to it a lot, but love her because it makes sense.
At one time, Rihanna was on my top 5 all pass list of celebrities.
That needs to be a different topic of like hall pass strategy. Do you pick someone that there's like a feasible shot, like a C-list star, or do you go? That's what I mean.
I'm a 37-year-old.
That's what I mean. Like, what's the point of having Rihanna in there? Why not throw like you're watching a Lifetime channel movie and you're like her, the lead actress from this? Because you bump into her, she might.
Nope.
See, that's what I mean.
I'm
It
gonna-
might be worth talking about the strategy there.
One bit.
We just straight up don't do it because personally, Jory's too attractive. If she met one of hers, it could be on, and I can't live with it. See, it's a lose-lose for guys. All the guys are like, "Oh yeah, hall pass. This is my list. This is hers." I'm like, there's no benefit because an A-list celebrity is not going to sleep with you, but an A-list celebrity would sleep with your wife if she's pretty. So there's no benefit to you playing this game.
I would have to be on top of my game.
All right, so
By 1,000% to be able to get an A-list celebrity to sleep.
do you want me to give my my surprise prediction for the Madden sim? Like, what would make the Madden craziness?
Please do.
Player skies into Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for Kansas City. He has to go off, and Andy Reid has to call the game, the second half of the game.
I mean, I think he'd be all right because he is a play caller.
No, I know. I'm just saying that would be crazy. Like a play calling coach.
I think Rihanna's going to fall off the stage.
I hope not.
If that happens, you're never going to hear the end of that.
That'd be an incredible call. Like, it's a wild thing to do. All right.
Speaking of predictions, give us a prediction on the game. Where are you standing? We know that you have the
Chiefs.
The Chiefs winning.
Yep.
That's the team. That's your pick. We both cemented that in last podcast. So tell me how you got there and how you think you get there.
Chiefs, how I got there. So Patrick Mahomes is an underdog, is 7-1, like 7-1-1 against the spread. They're plus 1.5. I think it's basically a coin flip, as is. I like that they've been there. They got the experience. Jalen Hurts, rookie. They're really dependent on the run. I think Kansas City's defense is better than people give them credit for. I'm not ready to bet against Patrick Mahomes. He's just so good. I do think this is probably the most evenly matched Super Bowl we've had in a while, and the spread reflects it. My prediction for the gamblers out there, Kansas City in the under. I think the under is at 50.5 right now. And then I saw another stat today. Over-unders in the Super Bowl that were 50 and above. The line was set 50 or above. The under is 9-3-1. Usually when two teams like this get together, it's a lower scoring game. I think it's going to be like 24-21, 27-20, something like that.
Lower scoring game, not a low scoring game.
Lower. I think it'll be in the 40s.
For the under.
With the under. I think we're going to get like I said, 24-20, 27-21, something like that.
So I actually took the under on one of my prop bets. So I'm hoping for that. Am I going to be mad if it's the over? No, because that means it'll be just an outrageously high scoring game, which will be fun to watch.
Yeah, the only way I'd be mad at that is if it's like 42-16.
AKA the 49ers Chargers back in
49 or yeah, what was the one, the Seahawks in Pittsburgh and in Detroit? Like that one sucked. It was like 30 something to 13.
the Seahawks won that game within the first 3 minutes. It was over the Broncos and Peyton Manning.
And not in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit was.
Yeah, I was talking about it was Pittsburgh over Seattle, and it was just a crappy game.
It was over Arizona.
Now the one they did, that one was at a different place. The one in Detroit was Pittsburgh over Seattle. Super Bowl 40. Doing a quick little Google.
Yeah. 21-10 Steelers over the Seahawks.
Yeah, like it was just an ugly game. I don't want that. Like if that's how the over hits 41-10 and hits over by a half a point and it's a blowout, like nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants it.
Overall,
I don't really care what happens as long as it comes down to the final drive. That's all I want. I want a final drive with the game on the line.
Anybody could win it down the stretch game.
Yeah, 100%.
Do I want Philly to win for the sake of this argument? Sure. But
Yeah, that's
I'm not going to lose sleep if you get the final point for Road Dogs competition.
Yeah, I don't really have a real dog in the fight. I'm rooting for a good game. And then if I do end up betting, obviously I'm rooting for my bets.
Overall, prediction-wise for myself, I think the Eagles are going to rattle Mahomes, much like the Buccaneers did a couple years ago. I said that last week. I'm doubling down. This is a Mahomes Buccaneers situation. I hope I'm wrong because that Super Bowl was garbage to watch. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. They had 2 weeks to plan for Mahomes. They're already a great defensive team. They're going to have a great strategy to slow him down and rattle him a little bit, much like Tampa Bay did back in that last Super Bowl he was in. Their defense became the 4th team in the NFL history, records 70 sacks in a season. They're going to get to Mahomes. They're going to get to him.
They've got a great front four.
Multiple
And
players.
then was it Maxwell and our boy Big Play Slay on the outsides? Like they've got a solid defense in Philly.
I bet that he gets an interception.
Slay for a pick for a prop bet. I hate and I love that we've got Sue and Slay on this Philly team, and it gives me nightmares to
I loved Big Play Slay when he was in Detroit. I
loved him.
He's just a big personality.
He was one of my favorite Lions from that era. All right.
Here, Philly's defense became the 5th team in NFL history to win the divisional and conference championship by at least 21 points each. It puts them exclusive company, joining the 78 Steelers, 85 Bears, 88 and 89 49ers.
Well, I just want you to know. Go ahead.
Both those teams, or all 4 of those teams, won the Super Bowl.
Well, fun fact, your Philadelphia Eagles, statistically by opponent strength of like the players, they did a stat on the easiest road to the Super Bowl in the playoffs. Philly number 1, they're facing Daniel Jones and Brock Purdy, and then one-armed Brock Purdy. And the number 2 one was like Tom Brady when they won in like 2016 or something like that. The year before.
That stat, Tom Brady had an easy route, but
yeah, it was Tom Brady was one, and then there was one from like the 90s. I think it was one of the Dallas teams had a really easy road. I can't remember exactly which one. But yeah, it just made me laugh that they kind of ran the toughest opponents, and Philly had the easiest road in history to get to the Super Bowl.
As much as I agree on that San Francisco had no offense. None.
I would have loved to see that game with Brock Purdy or just a healthy quarterback.
But they still move the ball very well against a very good 49ers defense early in the game.
They had field position the whole first. I
They were
watched
moving
that too.
very well.
They didn't start moving the ball till the second half. It was close. It was like a 7-point game there into the late second quarter.
I didn't say they were scoring. I said they were moving the ball before it got out.
They didn't really start putting up points until they started getting field possession. Anyway, I digress. I think that's why I think Chiefs. Moving on to a would you rather. Classic playground rules. Would you rather? Would you rather, Drew, have 4 seasons as an MVP caliber player, 4 seasons winning the MVP, and you never win a Super Bowl, and you never make it to a Super Bowl, no appearances? Or would you rather have no MVPs and a Super Bowl win?
This is a tough question. And if you say it's not a tough question, I think you're lying to yourself. And the reason I'm going to state the answer that I have is because I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking Hall of Fame considerations. I'm thinking that bronze head in Canton. That's the end game for a majority of NFL players. It's either win a Super Bowl or make the Hall of Fame. Me personally, I would rather have 4 MVP seasons and no Super Bowl appearances and have a first ballot Hall of Fame consideration rather than having no MVPs and get a Super Bowl. Small example. Would you rather be Aaron Rodgers? I know he does have one NFL Super Bowl, but would you rather have Aaron Rodgers' career or Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco has that Super Bowl win, but who cares? He's literally nothing now.
Are you taking away Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl
Would you
win?
rather have a Super Bowl win or Aaron Rodgers' career?
Well, Aaron Rodgers has. So are you taking away Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl win in that hypothetical?
I did say I understand that Aaron Rodgers has Super
Because in that scenario, you're like, would you rather not be an MVP with the Super Bowl, or would you rather be an MVP with the Super Bowl? It's a terrible hypothetical.
I'm just saying I am aware that Aaron Rodgers had a Super Bowl, but let's pretend he didn't. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers' career than Trent Dilfer's.
Give me a no. Well, no. If you take away the Super Bowl, I'm going to stand with this. I 100% would rather have a Super Bowl as a starting player. I think that's key. Like, I have to be the starting quarterback or a starter.
Nobody's wanting to be the backup winning Super Bowl.
Right. I didn't say it in the original question, so I think that's important. It's like, you're the quarterback in this. Would you rather? Would you rather be a 4-time MVP quarterback or the Super Bowl winning quarterback? For me, it's Super Bowl, and it's not even close. It's not even a little close. The easiest reason why is if you ask any of those Hall of Fame guys if they would rather be in the Hall of Fame, which they are, have a Super Bowl, every single one of them says they'd rather have a Super Bowl. Every single one. And if you ask guys that have a Super Bowl if they would trade it to get into the Hall of Fame, they all say no. Winning a Super Bowl is the pinnacle achievement in that sport. Winning a championship is the greatest feeling you can have. No question. Running off the field as the quarterback with the Lombardi trophy in my hand it's not even a debate in my mind. Super Bowl 10 out of 10 times. I don't need the Hall of Fame. It'd be nice. Super Bowl. That's what it's all about.
I think you're undervaluing the importance of being a Hall of Fame caliber.
Not even a little bit. I'm not undervaluing their achievements or anything like that. I'm just saying, if it's my choice, if I can be you know why? You know why, Drew? Because if I'm in a bar and you're wearing a gold jacket and I got a Super Bowl ring, you want what I got a lot more than I want what you got. Oh, yeah, it's Hall of Fame. That's nice. We won the championship. We were the best. You never did that, right? No? Oh, enjoy your old man's dinner, your gold jacket. I got the ring.
Was the best 4 times.
4 times? Yeah, you were. Where's that ring?
So even though I was the best at my game,
yeah. Did you win the championship?
Wasn't good enough to win it all.
Did you ever win a championship? Oh, you were the best, but you didn't win. What's the point of playing the games, Drew? Is it to be the best or is it to win?
You play to win the games.
Thank you.
I understand that. Again,
That's the only argument.
difficult. Would you rather? But at the end of the day, for me, financially too, because if I'm winning 4 MVPs, I'm getting paid. I'm getting the bag.
I think Joe Flacco secured about 100 mil after he won his Super Bowl.
Joe
So
Flacco was garbage.
he was a finesse. That is one of the greatest finesse jobs of all time.
I would have to.
Now, I do understand your point. Like,
Build your own
would you rather be Trent
That's-
Dilfer or Dan Marino? But interesting, like Trent Dilfer kind of was he that good? No, won a Super Bowl, carried there by his team. That's your argument. Do you want to be that guy?
Carried is an understatement. That was one of the probably arguably the best defense ever.
Yeah. I mean, that 85 Bears, that 2000 Ravens team, there's only a handful. I actually think last year's LA Rams team was one of the best defenses of all time.
Carried by Matt Stafford.
I think he played good. He doesn't get enough credit for last year.
Matt Stafford never gets enough.
Never does. He played out of his mind. Anyway, we're getting off topic. It's a Super Bowl. It's no question.
I'm taking that long career, 4 season MVPs. I can get close to the Super Bowl.
Hey, I'm sure you're very happy. I guarantee you it won't keep you up at night at all, not having won that Super Bowl after that long
bed in my gold jacket.
Yeah. This must be nice.
Gold, or is it like a green?
It's gold. Yeah. I'll be wearing my Super Bowl ring. It'll be beautiful. My name on it. Look real nice.
Well, you can wear your Super Bowl ring, but I'm gonna have streets named after me. I'm gonna have scholarships named after me.
Yeah.
Have my university build buildings named after me.
None of it will ever fill that hole in your heart where that ring should go.
That's
ultimate team game, and that's the ultimate team goal. MVPs don't mean nothing
got me
to the player. I'll take that league minimum $895,000 a year.
How would you not want to be in the Hall of Fame?
That's not the question. Of course.
How do you get to the Hall of Fame?
I would love to be in the Hall of Fame.
Long-standing, dominant career.
You do that every time we get into the counterpoint, you get backed into a corner, you put words in my mouth. How do you not want to be in the Hall of Fame? Of course I would want to be in the Hall of Fame. The question is, would I rather? I would much rather have a Super Bowl than be in the Hall of Fame.
I would much rather not be in the Hall of Fame.
I would much rather have a Super Bowl ring than be in the Hall of Fame. You're telling me you would much rather be in the Hall of Fame, have some statue of you in a room, than be a champion? Nice statue that looks nothing like you.
I would rather have 4 season MVPs.
So you'd rather have a statue of you in blackface and bronze face in the Hall of Fame. It's not even your tone. Pretty sure you get canceled for it these days, than have a Super Bowl ring. So you don't want to win a Super Bowl. That's all I'm hearing. And you know what? That's all I would need to not draft you.
Oh, I see how it is. Now you're putting words in my mouth.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's a two-way street. That's how you want to do it. I can't believe you don't want to win a Super Bowl. What kind of quarterback in the NFL doesn't want to win a Super Bowl?
That's garbage. You're putting words in my mouth.
How's it feel? How do they taste?
Speaking of taste, how's your beer taste?
It's the most average thing, and I'm disappointed from Guinness here. Stick to stouts, my guys. It's a 2 out of 5.
Ooh, 2 out of 5.
It's just not good. It's fine. It's fine.
That's 2 out of 5 means you had one and then you didn't open the second.
Yeah, I don't need it again. Like there's better light beers. There's better blondes, ales than the Guinness one. A Guinness stout, like a good Guinness draft pour, somebody that knows how to do like the back and forward things with the handle and let it sit and everything. Love it. High 4 beer. Guinness blonde 2.
So for being a white stout, poured it in the glass, and I was kind of surprised that it was a dark yellow color. The head was white, but just kind of caught me off guard. And then the head faded very fast, much like a true stout does. But decent flavor, not the greatest, being stout snob.
Like a bad marriage, the head faded fast.
3.5.
That was good stuff. I can't believe Can't believe you would pick the MVPs. You're always such a team guy. I'm always thinking of the selfish things in all of our would you rathers and six packs. You're always about everybody and making sure everything's good. I'm so shocked by that answer for you.
Listen, imagine retiring, having 4 MVP seasons.
It would just be a big what if. They'd be like, he was great, but he never won one. And then the argument for all those things is like, yeah, he's got a Super Bowl though. Everybody.
It's 4 MVPs.
Everybody's. Ask Marino how he feels.
Marino was never an MVP.
No, there's no way that's true.
Actually, I don't know.
Let's see. Let's see what the old Google machine has to say. He won the MVP in '84. So he won it once.
Before I was alive, so it doesn't count.
He was an all-pro 8 times. He's highly regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So I'm not buying that. He's basically your question here. Would you rather be Dan Marino or would you rather win a Super Bowl?
Would you rather be Dan Marino or Trent Dilfer? Wow. I don't know.
What career? What career would I rather have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Trent Dilfer. I want my Super Bowl.
Why? Why would you want to be Trent Dilfer?
Because the whole reason you play football is to win a Super Bowl.
Not only was Trent Dilfer not even a part of the reason the Ravens won.
You know who I want to hear answer that question? As I actually want to hear Dan Marino's answer. Like, would you rather have had your career or Trent Dilfer's? Because I guarantee you he would struggle answering it.
You think the egomaniac that Dan Marino is would rather trade his career with Trent Dilfer?
I told you I want to hear his answer because I think deep down, I think if he really had the option to trade it all,
he would punch you in the face.
I think he would do it. I think it haunts him. All right. Next week, we are going to recap who won our underdogs. We're curious. If you listen, let us know who you think is right on the Would You Rather. And let us know if we missed any dishes to bring to the Super Bowl. I think we kind of nailed the Super Bowl dishes. Shocked we disagreed on the Would You Rather. Drew, it was a pleasure until I found out what a selfish egomaniac you were when it comes to winning. What do you think?
That's fine. You're basically the Trent Dilfer of this podcast.
The champion. I win the podcast.
Basically a backup. Okay, that's fine.
Hey, ask Nick Foles and Carson Wentz who they feel really earned their Super Bowl win.
All I gotta say is I'm gonna take my MVP championship and I'm out of here. See ya.
See ya. MVPs over a Super Bowl win. Insane.